Hello, this is part one of a three-part series. I'm just laying out what my meals look like and how someone on the paleo diet eats. Now, paleo folk, we all eat differently from one another according to our body composition, whether we're pregnant or nursing, or our activity level. So different paleo people are gonna eat different variations off that paleo template. For example, some might eat very low carb, some might eat quite high carb, like myself as a nursing mom. Some might eat dairy like myself because I tolerate it okay, and it's a very nutritious choice if you do tolerate it and you don't eat a ton of it and you source out really good quality dairy. A lot of paleo folk don't eat dairy because they cannot tolerate it, and some eat a little bit of grain like myself, and I'll get into that in a minute. But paleo is known as a diet that really doesn't do any grain or processed foods or legumes. Okay, so I'm just talking about breakfasts today. I posted a picture of what I would consider like a textbook paleo breakfast on the Progressive Primal Mamas Facebook page. And that was a veggie and egg scramble. And that was cooked in, that day it was a grass-fed butter, or I do, organic butter. Grass-fed butter is so expensive in Canada. So I mix that up, or I do a ghee or a coconut oil or a palm oil, so some sort of healthy fat. And that day I had some olives alongside there, more fat, and sliced avocado, even more fat, and some sliced tomatoes on the side there. So that's your protein, veggie, fat breakfast, which is what we do a few times a week. I wish I could do it every day. It's such an incredible diet breakfast rather, and diet that's so fueling for the brain and just makes me feel so stable and incredible. But how that varies, that breakfast for us, is we will often throw some meat on the side, so grass-fed or pastured rather, bacon and or sausage. We don't usually do both. We don't ever do both. It's just either bacon or sausage. And sometimes, and we always have a carb on the side too. So that day it was a greens juice, or I made it in the blender, so it was more like a smoothie, I guess, but really watery, so more like a juice, but all the fiber was in there, made in the blender. There was greens, frozen fruit, avocado we do if there isn't any in our plate. Or if we don't have any guacamole around, that's great alongside eggs too. And then we do fresh ginger, turmeric in there too. And frozen greens, I think I already said that, frozen fruit. So with water and lemon juice, those were the ingredients I was missing in there. So we do that for our carb, or we'll do a chopped up apples or berries or kiwi, or we'll do like a potato hash, either shredded or cubed, yams, sweet potatoes, or white potatoes. So that's what we do, and it always varies according to what vegetables we do. Sometimes it's sauteed greens with just like fried eggs, or it's always different how we do our eggs and what vegetables and what carb we do. But that's an incredible breakfast that just makes me feel really amazing, and I can go hours without eating after that breakfast, though I do eat quite a lot. Because I am a nursing mom and I'm around the house a lot, so there's just food everywhere. And so the other breakfasts I do, we also do a really amazing breakfast with a pastured ground pork, and that's with apples and plantains and cinnamon and onions. It's like a hash. It's so delicious. So when I have plantains or can get plantains, which aren't that hard to get because I go to Superstore and they're always there pretty much, or Safeway even carries them now. So we do that a few times a week. Well, not a few times a week, maybe like a few times a month. But the other not so paleo breakfast that we do is a steel cut oatmeal. And that would be just a breakfast we do because we get sick of eating eggs. In my mind, oatmeal is not a super nutritious choice. I think there's far worse things you could eat. But steel cut oats do not stand up in vitamins and minerals to eggs and or meat or vegetables or anything like that. So, and they're not a great body fuel source. So with that, we do add fats to make it more satiating and healthy, grass-fed butter, coconut oil, ghee, some type of lovely fat, salt. It sounds weird. It tastes really delicious. Fruit we'll put in there, nuts, shredded coconut, nut milks, things like that. My partner likes to put in a grass-fed collagen as well from Great Lakes. It's just like a white powder. It's really yummy. It just tastes kind of creamy. Doesn't taste weird or anything. That's delicious in coffee as well. I always have coffee in the morning with that in it. And yeah, another really great breakfast that we used to eat, but now that we have a toddler and he has trouble just eating a liquid breakfast, is really thick, fatty smoothies. So nut butters, coconut oil you can put in there, avocado, frozen greens or fresh greens, fruit, nut milks. That's all you need. Just one big fat smoothie. I could go hours without eating off that thing, and I wouldn't have anything else on the side. That's all I would down. I guess I could talk about beverages too. We always have coffee here. We do it in a French press with our lovely Berkey purified water from our Berkey purifier, and French press, so there's no plastic coming in contact with it. And I just throw in, I like fatty coconut milk in there with cashew milk. I do a bit of both, and I put some collagen in there too. So that's what we do here in this household for breakfast. My toddler eats everything we eat. We don't make him anything different or anything special. He just eats the breakfasts that we do, and he loves them. So that's all I have for you today, and I will see you again soon.